Today is August 12th, 2019, Monday, and it's not quite noontime, but temperature outside is probably I think in the low 80s. But here's the Napa Valley Wine Train. It consists of two Aristo-Craft FA1 units that have been lowered, and I mounted Kadee body mount Kadee 907 type couplers, center set couplers. And the cars on it, there are 7 total cars on this train further back, and they also have body mount Kadee 907 couplers. And I will start the train and we'll run it outside. And in the case of the Napa Valley actual prototype wine train, I'll slow it down here a little bit. They do have an observation platform car on either end of the train, so that when it goes from Napa, California to St. Helena, the northern terminus, the engines run around the train on a siding to the opposite end and pull the train at the opposite end, which also has a platform observation car on it. And that way the train will always have a platform observation car no matter which end you're on, so people can stand in the back if they want to and take advantage of that viewpoint. So in the case of the Aristo-Craft, they're all Aristo-Craft heavyweight cars. In the case of the observation platform cars, this section typically sags down and is not very well supported. So if you put body mount couplers on the chassis there, as I have done under here, you really have to stiffen that up. And I've used a Stanley T-bracket underneath here, which might be a little difficult to see, but that stiffened it up, and so it's a reliable and a strong anchor point then that the whole train can be coupled to the engines and towed without any deleterious effects. So there is a vignette that I have that Greg Onasian hosts for me on his website about this Napa Valley Wine Train and what was done to the cars. And there's another vignette on how to lower the FA1 engines and body mount the Kadee 907s on those two. So I'll run the train outside through the portal that can be seen there. And this replicates the Napa Valley Wine Train that before they got the dome car. So it's one of the earlier renditions. And here's the other end of the train, the tail end now, that has also a platform observation car like the real train has. So we'll go outdoors. And the train is going over the bridge here, and I'll speed it up to pull the grade. So it's on the first loop of my helix here. And extra weight was added to these engines for better traction. So it's able to pull these 7 cars up here without any problems. The average is probably about 2.2%. There's as much as 3% in the short section, and then it's relaxed out to maybe 1.8% or 1.9%. So I'll go up here and have to switch the turnout, so when the train loops back around it will do so without having a derailment problem with this turnout here. It's going to come around the tree back here, around to the viaduct. And all these cars have the 3-axle truck type rather than the 2-axle, which is like the actual prototype Napa Valley Wine Train. It has 3-axle trucks on their heavyweight cars. And for the next go around, I'll switch the track here for going through the center path. So right now it's going through the path along the back fence here. And here it's going over the viaduct again. And I will have to switch this track for the center path when it comes back up here. So now it's starting to come up the center path here in the distance there. Power is set for about 45% of what it's capable of on my Track Power Revolution 15 amp capable base station. Of course, this train doesn't draw much current. Even though the lights are on, it's still fairly minimal. And here comes the train around the viaduct. And I'll get a shot with it, a run-by shot here. And there you have it. Now here's the train with the engines run around to the other side like the real Napa Valley Wine Train would have done. And it's going in the opposite direction. And you can see it's coupled to the observation platform car again. There's like-kind car on each end of the train. Right now it's going at sort of a creep speed and coming up the grade, and I'll speed it up once I get within range of my revolution here, because the receiver's under the house. So it should be pulling 35% power now, which it is. So here it's entering the viaduct in the opposite direction it did the first time. So the real Napa Valley Wine Train goes very slow because it's a dinner or lunch train. This represents a dinner train here. So they have plenty of time for people to have their meal and relax and come back. And you can see the lights are on the cars. In the shade here, it's more visible. And as the train goes alongside the back fence here on the way home, there's still some shade back there on the back fence where I think the lights will show up on the cars. And the train is now going to be headed home to go down the helix. So now it's going on the first loop, coming down the first part of the loop of the helix. And it's headed home. there you have it.